Hello, you're watching Wednesday edition of News Mongolia. Today is September 14th. For our top stories, the 8th Ulaanbaatar process meeting is being held on September 13th to 15th. Mongolian Mental Health Today National Conference held. A Mongolian living in the US has donated around 2,000 English books to Mongolian libraries. For other news, stay tuned. The 8th Ulaanbaatar process meeting is being held from September 13th to 15th. Approximately 25 representatives from Beijing, Kyoto, Seoul, Taipei, Tokyo, Ulaanbaatar, Washington, D.C., and other cities are taking part to exchange information, opinions, and experience to shape a peaceful future for Northeast Asia. The meeting launched on Tuesday in Tirich National Park. The 8th Ulaanbaatar process is co-convened by the Global Partnership for the Prevention of Armed Conflict, its regional secretariat based with the Japanese NGO Peace Boat and the Mongolian NGO Blue Banner. Since 2021, the UBP has been co-founded by the European Union's instrument contributing to stability and peace. The event opened with remarks from the first democratically elected president of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, the president of Blue Banner, and other dignitaries. During the first day of the meeting, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia provided updates on the Ulaanbaatar dialogue.
The Ulaanbaatar process meeting is being held for the 8th time. The main objective of this meeting is to discuss nuclear weapon-free special status at the international level, to attract the wider engagement of non-governmental organizations and to promote NGO contributions to developing state policies. On the other side, I want to cite former United Nations General Secretary Kofi Annan's speech when he noted that if non-governmental organizations join forces, they'll be able to form a strong force mightier than any major state. Therefore, I hope that non-governmental organizations will expand their influence and reach international status. I initiated the Ulaanbaatar process meeting to bring NGOs together and to increase their influence on matters of regional and international importance. Every year, the number of Ulaanbaatar process meeting participants increases. The Ulaanbaatar process demonstrates that the activities of organizations working toward the elimination and abolition of nuclear weapons are crucially important. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, for the last 2 years, the Ulaanbaatar process meeting was held virtually. This year also marks the 30th anniversary of Blue Banner NGO. The participating organizations here are quite active. We hope that an outcome of this meeting will be a wider range of the promotion and dispersal of the idea of nuclear weapon-free status.
I think, first of all, I really would like to say the congratulations of the 30 years anniversary of the single country, the nuclear-free zone. It is a really historical monument in a peace in the world. So, and now is we are also living in a nuclear threat. So, and we really have to achieve that real peace in this world. We need that is a nuclear abolition, nuclear weapon abolition. That is my strong belief. And from that point of view, that the Mongolian government and the people's efforts it is a really glorious and excellent, wonderful, I think. So, and at the same time, that is a Mongolian efforts is also very important is Northeast Asia, because your country is having the good relationship in all the Northeast Asian countries. And that's why I really say thanks about that your people, and also that's all the government people is working for that.
Named after the Mongolian capital in which it was officially launched, the Ulaanbaatar process is a unique civil society dialogue for peace and stability in Northeast Asia. Although it was initiated back in 2005, it was officially launched in 2015, after the idea was adopted in the Regional Action Agenda of GPPAC Northeast Asia. Mongolia is a state with an internationally recognized nuclear weapon-free status that benefits from political security assurances by the 5 nuclear weapon states. It also maintains friendly diplomatic relations with all 6 party talk members and other states in the region. This year's event commemorates the 30th anniversary of Mongolia's nuclear weapon-free special status.
The Ulaanbaatar process is very valuable and unique civilian dialogue framework across border for the peace of Korean Peninsula and Northeast Asia. In particular, at a time when militarism and nationalism is intensifying and the nuclear threat is growing, this program, the meaning is even greater. Next year is the 70th anniversary of the armistice of the Korean War. I hope that this event, this program, will strengthen international will and action to end the Korean War and eliminate the nuclear threat in Northeast Asia.
I work with American Friends Service Committee. It's a Quaker organization based out of the U.S. And we feel our role here is to represent some of the U.S. civil societies and come together in our mutual work for peace in Northeast Asia. And our role here also is connecting with the DPRK, and we work with humanitarian assistance in the DPRK and advocacy in Washington, D.C.
The Ulaanbaatar process is a sole standing platform for dialogue in Northeast Asia in which civil society representatives from all parts of the region, including both Koreas, actively and consistently participate through times of crisis and stability. The overall goal of the Ulaanbaatar process is to strengthen the position of civil society and enhance and maintain inclusive and sustainable peace in the region. It complements official, regional, and international processes and provides recommendations from an all-of-society perspective. During the 3-day meeting in Tirich National Park on the outskirts of Ulaanbaatar, participants will discuss pressing issues such as the peace process and denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula and the impact of the war in Ukraine on Northeast Asian security. The third publication in the series, Peace and Security in Northeast Asia, The New Normal, is also being launched during Ulaanbaatar process, and targeted, action-oriented recommendations for civil society, governments, and international organizations will be developed. The National Conference, Mongolian Mental Health Today, was held on September 13th. Experts note that the COVID-19 pandemic has affected and continues to affect mental health.
Around 500 people working in mental health and related areas participated in the conference to discuss the current status of mental health in Mongolia and what should be done in the near future. Improving people's mental health education is the key. Activities that provide people with information on how to handle their mental health are very important today. At the end of 2021, a public health study was carried out across the country. The study's results show that 62% of the people surveyed had chronic fatigue, 55% had anxiety disorders, and 40% were experiencing depression. 10% more women than men were experiencing depression.
Approving a law on delivering public health services is on the government's agenda. Mental health issues are considered a major public health concern. Through the new law, citizens would be able to receive mental health services easily.
The burden of mental health condition in the region as well as globally is increasing. And this is driven by various factors, including rapid urbanization, substance use, digitalization of lifestyle, and this has been amplified by the COVID pandemic. To address this burden, we also know that in the region, as well as globally, we have little resources dedicated to mental health. There is little mental health professional, and there is little government spending on mental health in general.
Experts note that pandemic lockdowns increased poverty, unemployment, and cases of domestic violence, all negatively affecting the public's mental health. The National Mental Health Conference focused on refining the mental health system to effectively reach the public.
A Mongolian living in the US donated around 2,000 English books to Mongolia's public libraries.
Sint Ayush started sending books in English to Mongolia in 2008. She bought used books at low prices and donated them to the libraries of state universities, public schools, and the Hufskull Province Public Library. I've donated science books for school children, English dictionaries, children's novels, and non-fiction. Sint Ayush has donated around 400 books to the public library in Hufskull Province. Library visitors and school children can enjoy English books in their original language. Now, the students of Hufskull Province have the chance to be introduced to the newly arrived English books and they read the books they need. We talk to Sint Ayush to enrich our English book collection every year. Sint Ayush's initiative has made a great contribution to children who are learning English in remote provinces.
Special thanks from Sint Ayush again, and we say book is a golden bridge to explore a new world.
Sint Ayush is a busy doctor, but she still contributes to improving the English language education of Mongolian children.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Here comes the international news from our partner agencies. The new session of the United Nations General Assembly has opened with a warning from its new president that protracted global uncertainties, inflation and conflicts are creating upheavals not seen since the Second World War. Saba Korosi of Hungary said Russia's invasion of neighboring Ukraine has transformed international diplomacy and threatens to install warfare in the toolkit of our international life.
As we begin our 77th session, we do so in a world of widening geopolitical divides and protracted uncertainty. While more manageable, the pandemic continues to wreak havoc across the globe. Acute food insecurity, soaring energy prices, and global supply chain disruptions means even less food for those already being short of that, while record inflation threatens to rock our societies.
Korosi issued the warnings while opening the 77th session of the General Assembly at UN headquarters in New York. He called for a commitment to uphold and protect the principles of the UN Charter and cautioned against cherry-picking only those that are convenient to deal with these uncertain times. The adverse effects of climate change, he said, will likely spark conflicts, and an emerging water crisis is poised to evolve into a major threat against peace and security. Rescuers on Tuesday evening continued to search in the rubble of a 4-story residential building that collapsed in the Jordanian capital earlier in the day. A 4-story residential building collapsed in the Jordanian capital on Tuesday, killing at least 1 person and wounding 11 others, officials said. It was not immediately clear what brought down the building in Amman, which state media said was an older structure. The health minister confirmed the toll, and authorities said rescuers were still searching for survivors. Prime Minister Bashir al-Qassamneh directed authorities to investigate the cause of the collapse. The building was located in Jabal al-Webdeh, an older bohemian district of the capital that is popular among wealthier residents and expatriates, but also includes some poorer areas. Now let's take a look at our regular feature on sports. Marc Marquez is set to make his latest return from a career-threatening shoulder injury when the MotoGP season continues with the Grand Prix of Aragon in Alcanis, Spain at the weekend.
6-time MotoGP champion Marc Marquez said Wednesday he has been medically cleared to return to racing this weekend at the Grand Prix of the Americas after vision problems sidelined him for the previous 2 races. Marquez, who missed most of the 2020 season with injuries, crashed hard in warm-ups for the Indonesian Grand Prix, which caused him to experience double vision. He missed that race and last week in Argentina.
I realized this season that I'm not enjoying. I'm just suffering a lot of pain. I don't have power. I cannot ride like I want. I start to injure the left shoulder because I'm pushing too much with the left arm, and yeah, I mean my performance is not bad, but it's not the one that I want.
Marquez announced on social media he will race Sunday at the Circuit of the Americas, where the Repsol Honda rider has won 7 times since 2013. Aprilia Racing's Alex Espargaro leads the standings after 3 races this season. However, the Spaniard had to undergo a 4th operation following this season's Italian Grand Prix at the end of May before making his official return to 2 wheels at last week's mid-season MotoGP test in Misano, Italy.
Bubba Wallace won his 2nd career NASCAR Cup Series race Sunday and denied the playoff field an automatic spot in the next round for the 2nd straight week.
Bubba Wallace won his 2nd career NASCAR Cup Series race Sunday and denied the playoff field an automatic spot in the next round for the 2nd straight week when he held off championship contenders Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell to prevail at Kansas Speedway. Wallace, who is not among the 16 in the title hunt, got around Alex Bowman for the lead with 67 laps to go and then built a 2-second lead of a parade of playoff drivers trying to earn a win and ensure their spot in the next round. Hamlin was at the front of it. The co-owner with Michael Jordan of Wallace's car at 2311 Racing managed to whittle about a 10th of a second off the number 24's lead over the closing laps. Hamlin ultimately ran out of time, and Wallace took the checkered flag in the same car that Kurt Busch won with Kansas earlier this year. Wallace also won during last year's playoff at Talladega when he was likewise out of the title picture. And his win came after Eric Jones, who likewise missed out on the postseason, won a week ago at Darlington. Wallace is the 18th driver to win this season.
Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.